Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ascend's Friday Forum. If this is your first time tuning in, these webinars cover a range of topics from the most commonly asked support questions to new features and handy tips and tricks to help you along your journey with Ascend. Now, if you have any questions at all and you're not able to find the answer on the Ascend Help Centre, please do send us through an email at ascend@softwareofexcellence.com and our support team will get back to you as soon as possible. So today we'll be taking a look at the new features that were released in our latest August update. There are many new exciting things for us to dive into. So right away, you'll notice the new chairside dashboard, which now allows progress notes to be viewed directly from the charting screen. Progress notes can now also be added directly from the routing panel as well. There are some new additions regarding location isolation, which assists with visible providers along with some reporting. There is also some new functionality that has been added to the aged receivables report. Finally, there are also a few new additions made to imaging that we'll touch on as well. So, diving right into Ascend, there are many doctors and hygienists that like to review a patient's clinical notes at the beginning of their appointment. As such, Dentrix Ascend Chart now includes a progress notes panel on the same page. Now, this is optional and can be turned on or off with the new chairside dashboard switcher on the chart over here. When switching it on, you will see that it's going to bring up the clinical notes down here at the bottom of the screen. You can sort the progress notes by clicking on the description heading, and that's going to sort it by title in alphabetical order. You can also go ahead and expand this box as well by hovering over here and waiting for the little arrow to appear, and then you can bring it up or you can bring it a little bit smaller, whatever suits you best. When making these sizing changes, it is useful to note that Ascend remembers these choices on a per device basis. So you log out, come back in, those settings are going to stay for you. There is now also a view menu. So opening this up, you'll see that there are a few other options. It will default to be set to all. However, there is also this today's work and include related option available here. So where applicable, when you do have the today's work view selected, it's going to also include what's scheduled and what has already been done, along with, of course, any work that's scheduled for today. Now, if you do go ahead and tick the include related box, when applicable again, it's going to make sure that you'll be able to see any conditions and other notes that are related to what's been done or scheduled as well. The next new feature that I want to touch on as well is the ability to add clinical notes directly from the routing panel. So if we go ahead and open up the routing panel, we can see that I have a patient sitting here under chair. So I'm just going to go ahead and expand that. Within here, you'll see that there's now the option to add clinical note. When adding a clinical note from the routing panel as well, this is going to be available to do from any of the chair, checkout, or complete statuses, any of those three, and you're going to have this add clinical note option. Now, when you do go ahead and add a clinical note, it's going to, by default, set this provider to be whichever provider is set as this patient's primary provider. So just keep that in mind as well. A couple of new additions also include the location isolation and the provider selection enhancement. So the reason for this is because it's a common dilemma for larger practices to have quite a long list of providers that begin to build up as there's more locations added or more practitioners that join the practice. So anywhere where you are able to select a provider or there is a provider drop-down menu, when you go to select a provider, it's only going to show you a list of providers that actually have access to the location that you're logged in as. Now, this location only has one provider that has access, and that's why it's only showing one provider in this list. Now, when it comes to the location isolation, this feature is related to the reporting side of things. So within this latest update, when users run certain reports, the data that is returned will only show information for the locations that the user specifically has access to. So the reports that have this functionality are the day sheet report, the payment analysis report, the aged receivables report, the provider AR totals report, the recare management, workflow compliance, and the audit log. So as an example, popping into the day sheet report, the particular organisation that I'm logged in under, just a test organisation, actually has 3 locations. However, I only have access to the one location, Blackburn. As such, you can actually see here that under the filter option, I only am able to check and uncheck the Blackburn location. I don't have access to any of the other locations. Now, something that is worth noting is that there is this include organisation summary. Now, any report that does have this, it is going to show grouped totals, but only for the allowed locations again, so not the entire organization. So you can still select that, but it will still be location-based information as well. Now, one of the challenges to working with the aged receivables report in the past has been the fact that there wasn't a streamlined way to get to the patient's ledger or statement if you wanted to do some cross-checking. And of course, if you left the report, you then had to rerun it each time you came back. Well, that's something you don't have to worry about anymore because with this update, the patient's name is actually a link to their ledger. So if we go ahead and run the aged receivables report, you will see here that I have a couple of test patients that I can select, and you'll see that their names are available to be clicked on. So if I go ahead and select one of these patients, perhaps Sarah, what it's going to do is open up a new tab, and it's going to bring up the patient's ledger for me. This way, we can easily switch between taking a look at the aged receivables report or taking a look at their ledger as required. Now, there are also a few new exciting things when it comes to imaging. So, the first of which is that when you are printing images that you want to share, they now include the tooth numbers on the image. So, if we go ahead and share this exam that we currently have selected and just go ahead and hit share there, if we choose the print option, it's going to bring up a PDF image for us, but it's also going to show the tooth numbers as well. Alternatively, if you choose to share the entire exam rather than just the one image, so if we're clicking the 3 dot drop down and then choosing share exam, again, if we go ahead and hit print, leaving it as the entire exam in one image, this time the tooth numbers are actually going to appear on the second page over the images, as you can see here. Another new feature is the fact that the display preferences will now be remembered. So when you are viewing an image and if you choose to alter the display size, what's going to happen is that display preference is going to be saved for you as set by this button. So if we go back to home, for example, but then pop back into the imaging and then go ahead and take another look, we'll find that the image has the same preferences set as what I had previously set. In addition, there is also now the option to delete a single image rather than needing to delete an entire exam when required. So, as an example, this particular exam comprises of 2 images. You will find that there is now a more button on the images. So, if we go ahead and hit more, you'll find that there's now the option to delete image. So, if I go ahead and choose delete, it will come up with the box prompting if you're sure. We'll go ahead and choose yes. And as you can see, it's now just got the one image as required. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in to Ascend's Friday Forum. A few quick reminders before I let you go. If you do have any ideas or suggestions that you would like to put forward that you feel would help make Ascend a better product, we are always looking for and welcome feedback. And so we do have a request a feature link directly within Ascend. Once you access this link, you will be taken to our Ascend AU AHA page where you can add a new idea as well as comment on and vote for other people's ideas as well. Now, if you would like to revisit this topic or any previous webinars, you can also do so through the Ascend Resource Centre. You can access the Resource Centre via the Help button directly from within Ascend, and it is regularly updated, so be sure to check back there to find answers to all of your questions. If you do have any other questions, you can also send them through to ascend@softwareofexcellence.com and we'll be in touch right away. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day and don't forget to tune in next time.